Last time we looked at CA, Canada, and so next in alphabetical order, of course, is CH, which logically stands for Switzerland. Okay, so we have our usual settings. Okay, we have Fête du Deux. Okay, so this is in French. Switzerland is divided into areas, mostly the German-speaking area. French is spoken around Bern and Biel, and in this direction. Um, and so that's approximately this is the line right here. Um, and Okay. Also, do I've seen before is the name of a French department which is near Switzerland. It's part of Grand Est region. I think it's the one whose capital is Besançon. Um, I think that's Grand Est region. It might be Bourgogne. Not sure of the exact boundaries of the French regions. Um, so let's see. So maybe this is around La Chaux de Fonds over here. Yeah, La Chaux de Fonds is an interesting place because um, it was destroyed by fire in 1794 and then rebuilt on a grid pattern. Like an American city. Um, and so it's one of the few large European towns where the streets in the center all intersect at right angles. Um, Okay, we have Lilokla. Yeah, this might be the name of the place. Um, Wait, on this sign it was a bit. We have Pay de Neuchâtel, so that also indicates. See, there's Neuchâtel there. There's La Chaux de Fonds. Um, and there was a sign over here where we have Neuchâtel and La Chaux de Fonds again. Um, yeah, and Lilokla. Okay. Um, oh, there's Lilokla there. Um, there's a tunnel under the Col des Roches. Um, that means rock pass. Okay, we have, don't put signs there. Défense d'afficher. Um, we have a second tunnel. Okay, so this is, um, so let's see. So we've got tunnels to both the east and west. So there's, um, let's see, d'Horlogerie du Local Horlogerie Clocks, right? Very Swiss thing. Um, there's okay. I thought it was I saw a tunnel here, and so I plunked it. It's so this was in actually in the town of Lilokla. Um, oh wait, that's where I plunked it in Lilokla, and then at the last second I saw the tunnel there. So tunnels are marked on the map with this gray thing, right? And you can see here, in fact, this is described as Col de Roche, subalpine road with underground mills. And then um, looking at it, we were right on the border, that it turns into D461 on the French side. Um, okay. And it put us in a stadium. Well, it does this. Let's see, ticketcorner.ch. Um, Implania, Remoro, Bonkers. Oh no, Bookers. Okay. Um, Not seeing anything that's clearly identifiable. In fact, I don't even know which. Votre logiciel de gestion, that suggests this is probably French as the language. Oh, réalisation publicitaire remarque. Okay, so this is French speaking Switzerland. Um, Oh, there's Feldschlösschen, which, is, I think, which is the beer from Dresden, but, like, I know there's another one. I've seen, ads for the, um, okay, so that it's a beer name, so, like that, okay. So where do I think this is? Uh, yeah, we've got some taller buildings in the background, at least sort of semi-tall. I think this is likely to be, like Geneva or Lausanne. Um, let's see. Yeah, I'll go with Lausanne, and then let's see. Is there any way to identify the stadium? Yeah, I mean, the thought is, if there was a team name somewhere, uh, I mean, European football team names are, certainly odd, but, like at least to North Americans, but, they may still be recognizable, right? If we saw, I mean, big ones, of course, I've actually heard of, like say Ajax, or Galatasaray or, Manchester City, I mean, I've heard of, um, but let's see. Um, is there a stadium? Also, if we found a stadium, its orientation might actually be usable as identification, right? I could tell which way is north. Centre Sportif de Rochetas, that's probably not. Yeah, that's just a park, with sports facilities. Um, yeah, I mean, usually, yeah, I mean, the other reason, okay, so it was Geneva. Um, okay, so we'll look and so yeah, it's just marked on here as Stade de Genève, so it doesn't say who plays there. Um, uh, Servette Rugby Club de Genève, Genève Servette Hockey Club. Maybe that's it. Is Servette is the name of the well, that's odd. It was both, hockey club and rugby club. So maybe Servette is the name for actually the place where the thing is. That makes more sense. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, we have a railroad track. Hey, are those wood ties on the rail? No, no, no. That was going to say, like in Western Europe, you usually do not see wood. Oh, yeah, this plant, um, I've seen in Europe before. They live on the French Mediterranean coast, and they can be found in surprisingly cold climates. That I've referred to them before as the Galway palm because they actually have them amazingly in Galway, in Ireland, and it's because of the low winter temperatures, that in Europe someplace can be, like surprisingly, colder and still have temperatures that, don't drop very far below freezing. Um, and this species, once you know how to recognize it, like it looks a bit like, the Washingtonia palms from California, but that if you compare this with a picture of California, you'd be able to see, that this is something obviously different. And by the way, the Washingtonia palms are planted all over the world by fans of California, so they tend to not mean that much if you see them in an image. Okay, so this means that it's at relatively low elevation and, probably exposed to winds from the Atlantic side. It could be this could be south of the Alps. That there's like if we saw language and saw Italian, like in Ticino, we would know where we are. Obviously, of course, there's only one canton of Switzerland that uses Italian, so um, you know we have Vincenzo de Dio. yeah, Via Bellinzona, Jubiesco. Yeah, so if this truck is not from somewhere else, I think we are in Ticino, which is near Milan. Right, you can see Ticino has Lugano and Mendrisio here. Certainly the climate looks right to have, like those. I don't know exactly what the name of that species of palm is, but that they're, they appear to be the palm species that is most cold tolerant in Europe. I've referred to them as Galway palms. Um, there is also something that looks kind of like them in oddly in New Zealand. And from its distribution in New Zealand, I think also, is a relatively cold defying palm. Um, okay, so I plunked it in Lugano. Yeah, that okay. So it was near Locarno up here. Um, yeah, so that truck was not that local. That the location that we had, it looked to be in Locarno, but it had a different town name on it, but one that was in Italian. So it was from Ticino. Um, so as for minor languages of Switzerland, there that Ticino, here's the boundary of Ticino up here, is the only Italian-speaking area that lists of Switzerland's official languages also contains something called Romansch, and I have never seen Romansch in GeoGuessr. I think it has something like 10 or 20,000 native speakers. It's a tiny little local language, and Romansch is wherever it is. It's in part of Graubünden canton, which is here. I think uh, it's the Romansh language is responsible for some of these Italian-looking names around here. Poschiavo, um, Bregaglia. Um, you know, uh, I think it's around here, um, so that Romansh apparently is quite different from Italian. I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen a sample of it, although I'm sure that you could look it up in Wikipedia and see what it looks like. Um, okay, so this this architecture, yeah, I would say this is German looking. Let's see, we have Beidseits on the sign. That's German, right? Both sides. Um, okay, so this it looks not that mountainous, but like the Zurich area definitely could be a possibility with this. Um, so oh, here this is an important thing for Switzerland. See, Gewerbehochstrasse. That Strasse in German, typically the two S's um, are are written in Germany and Austria as a thing called an Eszett, which looks a bit like a cursive capital B. Um, but that Switzerland does not use the Eszett in German. That so Strasse, or in this case Strasse, being shortened, has the double S and not an Eszett. Um, but yeah, that we have. Oh, let's see which direction looks. Wait, is that a plane down there or just a billboard? Oh, it's it's a fin from a plane in a roundabout. Okay, yeah. So I think we're in Switzerland. That's Polizei. The police are that way. Um, so we have Getränkemarkt, a drink store. Um, we have Steinacher Oberfeld. Um, that might be Steinacher might be a place. Although I mean Oberfeld would just mean like the upper field, right? That's also Steinacher Strasse is there. Okay. Um, let's see. I'm running low on time, so I'll guess around Zurich. Yeah, I think that this is this main populated part here. That's lower down in the mountains. I like Luzern or Zug would probably be more mountainous than this, although you know, these things are difficult to judge. Autohus Hyundai. Um, let's see. Okay, so it was the Zurich area. It was this place Kloten near the airport. Okay, that's the reason why there was a jet fin in the middle of a roundabout, is because it was okay. Um, all right, I have a viewers. Okay, this is great. Okay, so yeah, so here the that this is at least a kind of Swiss architecture. That I it's not quite stereotypical. If I had to guess, I would say that this maybe is French influenced. That I that like the stereotypical Swiss architecture, I think, is more in German speaking areas. Um, yep. All right. So we have hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. And also, this is very mountainous. Yeah, let's see, French and, like very steep slopes and deep valleys here. It makes me think of Valais, which is the area down here at the bottom of the French-speaking area with Sion as the capital. Um, again, this is, not on the basis of seeing anything. And also we've reached a dead end here, so we're going to have to climb back out. Oh, that do I think this is Catholic? I think this is Catholic. Um, I think most of the German speaking cantons are Protestant. That and some of the French speaking area is Protestant. Of course, Geneva is the hometown of Jean Calvin. The founder of Calvinism. So that Geneva is historically very Protestant. Of course, Calvin essentially, like was the Ayatollah of Geneva, in his day, that the was the ruler of the place, and based his rule on his um, his his version of Protestant faith. Um, yeah, I think we might be stuck here. Like I think I've run into another. Wait, can I? Maybe I can. Yeah, I think that's the end. Okay. So, it was actually, yeah, it was not in Ticino. It was near it. Let's see. So it marks here. This is let's see. It says Grison here, which that's Graubünden in French. Like I've noticed sometimes it isn't quite sure what language to label the boundaries in on Google Maps. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, and again, like the steep slopes indicated that it was down close to Italy over here. Okay, um, so uh, we have our second round through here. Um, let's see. This is Yeah, so this is a more, like stereotypically Swiss building, right? That this uh that's interesting. Okay, so this I think is a Protestant church. Um, that we've got some cattle. Looks almost like this cow has a P on. Okay, don't recognize that breed. Switzerland, of course, is well known for dairy products. Um, oh, we have Würzbrunnen. Okay, so we have that this is German speaking. Um, oh, there's a map in a map there, but I don't think we can. Yeah, I don't think we can get in close enough to see anything useful there. Let's see, what's BIS? Um, have alpaca crossing. Um, so the Swiss are into that too. I mean, I've seen the ads on television. I love alpacas. Get them for your farm. There's a directional sign there, but I don't know. Uh, yeah, yeah. So we still just have Würzbrunnen. Um, Wait, there was another sign there that might have been useful, um, or not. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that one. Um, yeah, I think this is relatively flat. See, no palms in this one. Like so we're probably north of the Alps. Um, um, let's see. Yeah, so I'm thinking this is in this relatively populated section, but like someplace much more rural, maybe out here. It was called Würzbrunnen, right? Um, don't think I'm going to find that. Okay, so it was down toward Thun over here. Uh, yeah, Würzbrunnen was just the name of the actual bus stop and a few houses around it. Uh, and then so here we have Rüttenbach in Emmental. Oh, those cows, right? Emmentaler is a kind of cheese. This must be where that it's named after. And I seem to remember that Emmentaler it's used in fondue, right? Like it's something that melts. Um, so but I think I don't think Emmental is the so-called Swiss cheese, right? The white thing with holes in it. Um, okay, we have Italian again, right? So we're in Ticino. Um, let's see, San Gottardo. That's the famous pass in the area, right? This Wait, the Saint Gotthard Pass is I think it's near Milan, right? And then there's the well, there's in modern times they have actually just drilled a tunnel straight through the Alps so that you don't have to deal with all that up and down stuff on the trains. You know, uh, works wonderfully. There's the problem that the tunnel is so far underground that the temperature can reach 45 degrees Celsius in it from um underground heat, but I mean, that would be fine as long as you don't have to evacuate. In the event of an accident, then it being really hot in there could be a problem. Okay, so we have San Gotardo, 75, San Bernardino. Wait, that's near Los Angeles. Okay, 47 kilometers. That may be another past name though, but yeah, I'm thinking this is this two, right? You know that we're on. Um, yeah, as usual, like it's this is more educational than trying to get higher scores, right? Okay. Um, so this is higher elevation than that other Ticino round that was in Lugano, right? Like where there was actual uh European palm trees in it. And again, I don't know what that species is called. But it's the palm tree that you see in Europe that's and so I've just called it the Galway palm. Um, okay, we have San Gottardo, E43 and 13 and E35 and 2. Um, So there's E35 and 13 and okay and so on. Yeah, so we must be yeah, so this is saying that the passes are open which, they have snowstorms, right? That and I'm sure no one in Italy has snow tires, like um so they probably just keep it probably just close it if there's a bad snowstorm, right? You know, uh I don't know if they have snow chains in Switzerland. That um okay, so 3.9 kilometers off. So we were not that close to I thought those signs were right where more like where you have to divide between these two highways, but that it was farther down the valley. And then here, you can see that that valley then leads down, and there's a Finger Lake here. That one is Lake Maggiore. Um, and so on both sides of the Alps, there's a series of Finger Lakes like this. Um, that here that's Lake Maggiore. This is Lake Como, I think. Yeah, and Lake Lugano here, which has the large town Lugano on it. Um, the Lake Como is named after the town at the bottom end here, and that Como is that this is getting into the suburban sprawl around Milan. So Ticino is very close to Milan. Um, okay. Um, okay, we have French, right? Entreprise du bâtiment, cuisine, et salle de bain, kitchens and bathrooms. Um, Okay, so this is the actual location, right? There wasn't an address on there. Oh, blotted out. Okay. Um, even more blotted out. Yeah, yeah. It thinks that sign is a license plate. Um, yeah. So, um, let's see. Architecture, I think, is more Germanic, right? That signs just say stop. Oh no, Chelsea, Bernex, and Genève, right? Yeah, I've noticed this X here. There are a bunch of places around Geneva that have names that end in X like this. Gex, for instance, in France. So Chancy, Bernex, there's Bernex. Um, oh, there's Chancy there. So let's see if they're all in the same direction. I'm thinking that this might be really close to France then here. Um, Genève on there, just so Geneva. Let's see. Village is the bus stop. Atanaz. Yeah, that's another one that I've seen with Swiss town names ending in AZ and OZ. Oh, there's Atanaz. Okay. So it's 5Kable, but like we probably will run out of time before we actually fix it. So there was the place. It started out next to the place with the um right CA Meyer mobile paw, right. Uh, uh Not seeing it on the map. Okay. Yeah, so here it's not marked on the map. Here there's Meyer, Thierry Seydoux, Mr. Serge Paul, Domaine de Clave Wine Store. Okay. That might have been findable. And then, yeah, maybe that was the bus stop that we saw in Atanaz, right? So yeah, a village like this typically just has a bus stop. Oh, there's two of them. There's one there, and there's Stad Atanaz here at the school. Okay, École d'Atanaz. Um, okay. Um, let's see. So we know that these mountains are formed by uplift. We don't need to worry about uh yeah, the geology. I wish I knew more about. That this might be identifiable. Um, oh yeah, the elaborate. I mean, I guess those are bollards and not poles, right? That. Yeah, kind of like Andorra, actually. I mean, I'm assuming that the reason why they have uh, tall bollards like that is so that if there's a heavy snowfall, they actually stick out. Um, you know, um, a lot of people seem to have this. There seem to be features like there are those big arrows over the road in Japan that they claim are, in case of a very heavy snowfall, that the plow can actually remember where the road is. And I don't understand any of that. I mean, I live in a notoriously snowy area myself, and I have never heard of anyone losing a road. Like there's I mean, I can believe that maybe you could do that, in a really featureless landscape, like North Dakota or someplace like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, certainly where I live, there can be fairly heavy snowfalls. I mean, I've seen more than half a meter several times, since I've lived here. Um, okay, so we're in Ticino again. It seems to like Ticino today. And maybe because people will think they're in Italy, and this like the style of the signs is radically different from Italy. Um, and we have Museo Sasso San Bernardo. Okay, so I'm thinking that before we had these were the Saint Gotthard and the Saint Gotthard and Saint Bernard passes. Um, Is this one the Saint Yeah, because remember on the site it said San Bernardino, and I said, yeah, that's near Los Angeles. Um, and in fact, San Bernardino is near some of the major passes coming out of the Los Angeles area. Particularly the one on Interstate 15 northbound toward Las Vegas is, that you climb up to it from San Bernardino. So, that must have been the basis for naming that place, in the Los Angeles area. So it was quite a bit up the pass. Okay. Um, oh, that's right. It was okay. So now, you can see here that it was still just inside Ticino. There's the boundary there, and then north of there is Uri, which, um, let's see, Uri is, I assume it's a German-speaking canton, right? Yeah, all the places in it. Oh, yeah, these are the Vierwaldstätter, the original cantons that formed Switzerland. There are four of them. They're all very small, and there's in this area. One of them is actually called Schwitz, right? Yeah, there it is. That this is actually the place that Switzerland is named after. Yeah, Vierwaldstätter See. This means the four forest states see, and this refers to again the four cantons that originally formed Switzerland are in this area, and then you can see that the Vierwaldstätter See, that the large town on it is Luzern. Um, okay. Uh, Oh, katholische Hofkirche. So I said some of the German speaking parts of Switzerland are Catholic and some are Protestant. And that someone that was really trying to be a guru for Switzerland, would probably actually remember that. Um, yeah, also, I'm interested, here, Bourbaki Panorama Luzern. Um, oh, Panorama of the Franco-Prussian War. Okay, because I tend to associate Bourbaki with mathematics. There's the famous French mathematicians collective of Bourbaki, um, and that it's an organization that French mathematicians they get. It's joined by invitation. The members, I think, have to are inducted before the age of 40, but when they've become distinguished French mathematicians, obviously. And Bourbaki is known for developing a series of higher mathematics textbooks that has been very influential in style. And also, Bourbaki has a reputation for being very abstruse and toward fundamentalists in mathematics. There's the famous statement from one of the members of the collective. I don't know which one it is. Mora Euclid. Wait, no, sorry, it was Abaz Euclid, Mora Triangle, which means down with Euclid, death to triangles. Um, in reference to the geometry textbooks, have all these problems about triangles in them, and that the Bourbaki mathematics series suggested, that they're very much more algebra oriented than geometry oriented. Um, okay, so that's the kinds of rants that occasionally happen in this thing. I can get very off topic, and fortunately, that was not on the clock. Um, It keeps putting me into Chino. Okay. What? Why? Why does it keep putting me into Chino? Right? Although, having mentioned it earlier in the stream, maybe it's going to put me in a Romansch speaking area. And so I'll have to think, wait, is that Italian or not? Okay. So we're in, well, Ticino again. Um, um, yeah. Oh, this is funny, like all of the languages at once. We have Schluprene essay, utensili elettrici, riparazione. Okay, so okay, stabili violino. Um, Yeah, okay. So there's which town is this? Could it be Locarno again? Yeah, there's so in Ticino there's Locarno here, Bellinzona, and Lugano. Lugano is the largest town in Ticino. Um, yeah, I guess you could talk about capitals. I know that Switzerland in general, that Bern is usually claimed to be the capital of Switzerland, but it turns out to have no legal basis. That in fact, that Switzerland does not have a capital. Um, I think a lot of things are in Bern because it's a bilingual canton, it's centrally located. Um, but I think that there's nothing is designated as a capital of Switzerland. Switzerland also, interestingly, um, yeah, that's interesting. This is a political sign of some kind. Um, and that in fact, in as well as not having a capital, Switzerland has no single head of state. The leader of Switzerland is actually a board. I think it has 7 people on it. Wait, that was a political site about sausage? Oh yeah, I missed it. That. Okay, so that last round also was that was in Lugano. Okay, well outside of Lugano, you can see there's various small village names cited here: Gravesano, Mano, Catimpino. Yeah, that often the village names in Europe are based on the original parishes of the local church, and so that there's if you think about it, if there's one name on there for every village that has a church, there's going to be a lot of those. Okay. Um. So one more game. Okay. So we have yeah, architecture is definitely French looking. Although it's this sort of thing is on availability of stone. We have Swan Lung China Restaurant. We have German over here, right? Splice. Let's see. Yeah, we have fairly large buildings too. Oh, this is okay. So now we've gotten to the point where it's really easy that we have Bahnhof Zurich, Enge. Okay. Um, that so this is a train station, Bahnhof. We have a 7 tram out in front. So Zurich Enge. Um, See, that's Zurich Hauptbahnhof. That's that Enge is probably another station. We have Zurich Hardbrücke, Altstetten. Schlüren appears to be outside of the city. Um, so the Enge means narrows. Um, let's see, Zurich, Bürkliplatz. Where's Enge? Okay, there's a rail line going out this way. Balgrist. Yeah, I mean, it should be right around the center, right? That I don't, unless this is the Hauptbahnhof. I mean, like it's big and impressive, like, it could be the main train station of Zurich. Um, Museum Riedberg, that has to be in the center, right? Okay, there's stations out this way. There's let's see, Brunau, Gieshübel, Binz, Friesenberg. Um, let's see, Zilnau. Yeah, and there's okay. So this is the main train station, Hauptbahnhof. That here, District One. You can see this unusual canal here. That's indicative of a large European old city center. That this was originally walled, and that the reason for these for this pattern where the walls go like this is that it allowed people to concentrate cannon fire on assailants in a more efficient way if the wall actually had these these bastions on it, right? These things that stick out. Um, and there are hundreds of examples, around Europe of these things, and occasionally you do even find ones built by Europeans in other parts of the world. I know that there was um, a wall built like this in Tainan in southern Taiwan. I don't know if it survived. Um, there's actually one on Hokkaido that was built, oddly after this sort of thing was actually obsolete in the West. But that the people that built it, like were I guess familiar with the concept, and the one in Hokkaido was actually built in after the Meiji Restoration in when there was a struggle between the samurai class and the new imperial government. Um, yeah, it's in Hakodate is where there's one of those in Hokkaido. I've never. The other place where I've seen wall shaped like this is Quebec City. I think that's the only one in North America. Um, okay, so we have. It says I think that just says Winterweg, which would be tells us that we're in German. Okay, there's a lake in this valley. Um, 120 meters to the tunnel. Oh, there we've got some bollards. Okay, they sort of look like the large French bollards except with black. Uh, right. Yellow spot on rock. Um, okay, so here we have some little tunnel. Oh, these things are often marked. Right, that the name of the tunnel is on them. 145 meters, 2006. Okay, so no. Um, oh, we have Wallenstadt. That must be the path to the bottom here. Okay, so that's we're in German. Looks like we may be climbing back out of the valley, though. Let's see. So where do I think this is? I think this is more mountainous. Um, yeah, it's like a long, thin valley, though. It's maybe like the valley near where Innsbruck is, although, that could that of course the Alps, the uplift is caused by compression from that all of southern Europe, is compressed by the collision with Africa, right? That, and so let's see, Alpkäse zu verkaufen means Alp cheese, for sale. Um, okay, that we have. something .ch on bench. That might be, if we could read it, that would be useful. We have Upi. It was what, Waldstätten or something? Okay. So uh town is actually decent sized. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to guess. Let's see. So um what we had is that it was this lake near Liechtenstein. Wallenstadt was the, yeah, Wallensee. Okay, so maybe I should have actually, once I had that name, yeah. So it was an east-west valley, that. So the east-west orientation of the valley did suggest that that I mentioned Innsbruck over here, that the valley orientation, there's a dominant valley orientation produced by the geological folding, and that that you have these east-west valleys here, and then that the that it varies, as you go off in this direction, right, and so you also have some crossbars here, like here, Neuchâtel Lake is in the other direction. Um, and also here, I should mention this area up here. Oh, there at the beginning of the stream, I mentioned Du, the department. There is Parc Naturel Régional du Du. That these are the Alps over here, and then this region up here, the mountains are referred to as Jura, going into France, and then this is Grand Est region of France, I think. Uh, I wasn't sure if Doubs was part of Grand Est or part of Burgundy. But that we have the Jura here. These are called Vosges. Um, Mountains. This is the Schwarzwald. The Black Forest is, sometimes called that in English. Oh, also, the Vosges extend pretty far up, and it isn't, goes up to the German border. And then north of here, these are the Pfalzerwald. North of the Vosges, the same thing in German. There's the Schwarzwald here, and then over here, this area is referred to as the Schwäbische Alb with a B. You can see here Alpstadt has a B in it. These are the only Alps in the world that end with B. Um, and then I don't know offhand of names for things north of the Alps out. I mean Bavaria. There's more of a large basin here. And then here, of course, this is the Böhmischer Wald. The Bohemian forest is how it translates. Wald, um, for I mean, a Wald in German can be a forest, but that it's a common term for mountain ranges, and that I know that it appears in other Germanic languages because south of London there's an area of not very tall hills that I think they are actually the terminal moraine from the Ice Age, where it was the ice came down from the north and piled up dirt at the end, um, and that those hills south of London are called the Wild, spelled Weald, and so that's the same term as the Böhmischer Wald here and the Schwarzwald here. Okay. So next round. That's quite the poll there. Uh, Interesting. Um, we have, oh, are those no, those are, I think, horses and not cows. Um, okay, Switzerland is actually pretty densely populated. That you're not going to see a whole lot of big uninhabited landscapes here, and you can see that this valley, like has quite yeah. Okay, there's one village over here, and then that there's something that's sort of linear here. Um, so I'm thinking that those are likely to have two different names for the villages. But how do we get out of here? And oh, this is totally stereotypical as Swiss architecture. That uh, yeah, I think those are German. You can't really read them. Um, yeah. Also, the orientation of the valley was yeah, it looked like it could be more this area. Um, so not far from Zurich. Um, um, that way. I think that they may actually have a cultural preference for wavy roads like that. That some of them are just not necessary. Um, you know, uh, kind of like how in the U.S. There are housing developments where roads don't intersect at right angles. That there's a lot of ones that end in a concrete circle at the end with houses around it. Um, Okay, we have mice. Oh, this is another characteristic of the area is that if you see a German place name that begins with GM, that it's in the southwest, either Switzerland or near it. The one that comes to mind is Schwäbisch Gmünd in Baden-Württemberg state. Um, let's see, that's up above Stuttgart, right? There's Schwäbisch Hall. Yeah, there it is, Schwäbisch Gmünd. That this strange combination of consonants GM, that I think you will only find in places in Switzerland and this part of Germany. Um, all right. So this has a substantial town in it. Right. We have yeah. So there's an old stone wall here. Yeah. Now, again, geology helps with walls because that old stone walls tend to be made out of stone that actually was is from the area, right? Okay, and there's the castle that goes with those walls. Um, what do I think? It's got an arrow slit up there. Um, yeah, so this looks like a pre firearms castle, right? Fortifications that were designed to for cannon fire are very different. Um, uh, and we're in Ticino again. Okay. Well, at least this stream, like if nothing else, that someone watching it is going to learn really well what Ticino is. Um, let's see. Yeah, so this is Castel Grande Murata. There's a map in a map, which would be helpful if we. So is this in Lugano? Is the first thought. I mean, it would have to be on a hilltop near the city center, right? Come to think of it, looking at the town, is there a lake? Um, yeah, I'm thinking that's good sized, almost, like would have to be Lugano, right? Let's see. So this Montebre, maybe that's okay. We're looking. Yeah, it's kind of yeah. It's actually kind of in the middle, isn't it? I mean, which part do we think the center is? Um, okay, so the bigger one. Okay, so it was Bellinzona. Okay. Um, and then yeah, so Bellinzona, I guess we have here Tre Castelli di Bellinzona, preserved complex of three medieval castles. So that we could look at the fortifications and we could tell that this was not from the age of cannons, right? It was earlier. Um, and that yeah, and so then it yeah, and then I did yeah, and then there was not a lake. Okay. Um, that yeah, Lugano has a lake, so that should have tipped me off, that and Locarno also has lakes, so I should have actually been able to figure out it was Bellinzona. Okay, last round. Um, okay, we have German on the sign. Oh, there's it looked like Der Stadtrat. There's a logo here, but it's not clear which. Um, Stadtrat means the city administration. From Rat means like council or something like that. So so it's kind of funny in German towns. The building in the city hall is called the Rathaus, which to an English speaker looks like rat house. Um, so we have no wait, there's a sign. We have Books, Rorschach. Okay, this is near the Bodensee. I recognize Rorschach, and not just from the Rorschach test. That thing with the blots that you're supposed to describe to a psychologist. That tells them things about your mental state. Um, okay, Books 13, Rorschach 7 and 13. So there's 7, there's 13. Yeah, Haydn. Well, let's see, 7 and 13 intersect there, but hmm, is there Haydn? I don't see Haydn. In a European landscape, often, like there are, villages that have merged into towns but stay there, stay in the geographic descriptions of things, as locations. Um, Migros, I've seen those before. I think that's a Swiss supermarket. Um, yeah, so this is Vanderweg. That's and there that sign had the town emblem again, which uh Baumgartnerstrasse. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe this is Goldach. Um, yeah. Let's see. Well, which way would the lake be? That's the other thing is, the Bodensee would. Well, I mean, it should be north, right? It should be. Okay, so it was some 12 kilometers, so it was not that close to Rorschach. It was over here in Altstetten. Okay. So yeah, maybe something with topography would have worked then to tell me that I was not. near the Bodensee, you can see that it was closer to Liechtenstein. Um, that Liechtenstein is in this large valley at the south end of the Bodensee. This valley, it turns out, the river in it is the Rhine. This is where it comes from. Um, and so the Rhine, it runs past Vaduz. And then the large town on the uppermost part of the Rhine is Chur. Um, which and that this area on the Upper Rhine, this is the canton of Graubünden, and remember that there's the fourth official language in Switzerland that you never see, Romansch, and that is found in Graubünden somewhere. And I think some of the names here may be some of the non-German looking names maybe from a Davo comes to mind. The place with the famous conference of politicians and very rich people. Let's see, school. Yeah, I think Romansch is this part of Graubünden out here, and it's a very small local language. I think it has something like 10 or 20,000 total speakers. Um, all right. So, so my usual policy is, 3 games on these things, and then I go off and, then decide, whether to stream again that day or I probably won't this time. But so I'm going in alphabetical order. So after Switzerland CH, then it returns to things that are logically in the C's, and so the next stream will be CL, which is Chile.